Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. I hope you're all well. I hope you're enjoying summer. I hope that anything self-improvement related to you has been wholesome, has been enriching to your life. And I'm just going to get straight into it today. This comes from a conversation I've had recently around self-improvement. There's maybe things that are out there that are similar to this as well, but today I'm going to talk about how toxic self-improvement can be. Obviously, you'll know where I stand on this from my own perspective, from what I talk about each week. But I think it's important to acknowledge it today. It's important to acknowledge all the little key components that exist within the self-improvement space that are the narrative. They are what everybody follows, yet nobody is questioning the impact that it has on us mentally. When we find self-improvement, we do it out of the genuine, well-intentioned goodness of our hearts. We do it to take control. We do it to prove not just to others but to ourselves that we can be capable of our potential. All those things maybe your parents or your teachers or others in similar fields to you have maybe said about your potential, and you've finally decided that you're going to do something about it. So the first thing that you do is you try and absorb, digest, take in as much content as you can, whether that's self-improvement, whether that's self-help, whether that is business, whatever it is that you're using, that is what you prioritize. And it's motivating, it's inspiring, it opens your perspective to things that you hadn't even been aware of before. And that moment is special. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit more fragile. It starts to get a bit more delicate. Because the first thing that happens is that you start to compare. You compare yourself not only with others, you compare yourself with who you could have been if you had started this earlier. And this is the start of the unhealthy and, as I say, toxic side of self-improvement. We start to compare with others. We start to almost compete with others. We start following trends that exist because experts in the field are saying that this is revolutionary. And I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but we've always got to remember it just comes back to the basics. The simple things. Doing and living in a certain way that is natural to our physical and mental setup. However, this creates rabbit holes of uncertainty, of what is creating self-doubt. It's creating self-loathing. The fact that you are not enjoying getting up at 6 a.m. means that you're a bad person. That is the subliminal message that is being sent to you when you realise that you don't want this that much. You don't care enough about discipline and proving discipline to others to be able to do this for the rest of your life. And you start to beat yourself up about it. This is just the start, because then you start to feel like a failure, and that starts to ripple into everything else. I'm not enjoying my diet. I'm not enjoying my exercise, but I must do them because that's what the experts are saying that I must do. I must get up at 6 a.m. I must eat these foods. I must drink at this certain time. I must not do all of these other things. You are removing the joy from your life. You think about all of the self-improvement that you've missed out on up until that point because you've only just discovered it. Think about all of the life that you are missing out on because of all this self-improvement discipline that you're showing. Self-improvement is about improving your mental state. It's about improving your physical state. It's about improving your enjoyment, fulfillment, meaning in life. Now, this is a very general take. Every individual is different, just like how exercise works differently for different people, or types of exercise do. It's like how diets work differently for different people, because we're all individuals. We all have different setups, but there are common things that we can experiment with that we can find suits us. Yet we pin all of our hopes, dreams, plans on fulfilling this blueprint. I wish I did do this on video so that I could do the sarcasm or the sarcastic quotes, but blueprint that exists for self-improvement or way of life. The only way to live is through discovery of what matters to you, what brings you joy, what you discover that you love. That is the only blueprint that you need. You don't need permission. You don't need people to compare against. There is nothing more satisfying or impressive from an external point of view than somebody who is so comfortable with where they're at and what they're doing and what they're working towards because they are just living on an elevated level of life. Yet, once you're into self-improvement, there is that sunk cost fallacy that I'm in it now, I need to see it through. If I don't see it through, I am therefore a failure. Think of any physical challenge you've ever done. Running every day for 30 days, completing a marathon, hitting a PB with weightlifting, or winning a competition for a sports team. There's an element of you've put so much time and effort into it that you don't want to give it up, but life happens. You might get injured. You might get dropped because you're not good enough. You might fall out with the coach because you disagree with their values and how they're doing things. That is no reflection on you. It's important that we can create division between these two perspectives. There is always an opportunity for a clean slate. There will be a catalyst, but it is unknown what it is. It is only specific to you. There will be a tipping point. There will be a moment of realization and self-awareness that will allow you to make the switch. You could think of it as almost unlocking a door or getting to the top of the hill and seeing the other side. Whatever you want to, metaphor you want to use to create this. This is where you realize everything that I'm talking about. Everything that I talk about every week on here or in my emails. And that is just living life fully and from a very rich and wholesome perspective. You will fail at things. You will do things that won't align with you. But you'll also find things that bring you joy that aren't that impressive. You will find things that you love that nobody else loves. You will be good at things that other people don't value as much as you. But this is where this whole you element comes into play. This whole self-improvement stuff isn't about anybody else. It's just about you. Looking inwards and giving yourself a break. Loving yourself. Accepting yourself for who you are. I'm not saying not to try hard, but choose the things that you want to work on. Enjoy the fact that you can experiment and try things without... Obviously, there's consequences, there's pain, there's sacrifice. But if you're happy with those, that's fine. That's what brings you joy, that allows you to put energy into other things that you maybe don't want to do so much. What makes you feel wholesome? What makes you increase your self-worth? An example from me right now, I usually, because I start work a bit later, I usually sleep till about 8 a.m. That's quite late if you're looking at it from a self-improvement perspective. Very undisciplined. However, in the summer, because it's lighter, I get up earlier. I don't do it for discipline. I don't do it so that I'm regimented. I do it because it's nice outside. I have an extra hour to my day that I can do different things that I can enjoy, whether that's writing a bit more, reading a bit, doing an extra podcast, being creative, going for an extra long walk, doing a bit of exercise in the morning, or simply just being able to fit in an extra coffee. But none of that is what a guru would say. None of that is what an expert would say. Get up an hour earlier in summer so that you can have an extra coffee. You need to find the things that matter to you. The sooner you find those things out, the better your life will be for the long run. Because like anything, everything evolves. Your personality, your values, the way you live, your routines. You might be able to stack things on top of, but time is always running out. When we're aware of this mortality, it's something I've gone through quite a bit recently, where I'm going to reach a stage where I realise that I have less time than I need, whether that's for creative output, for projects that I want to work on, and time will run out. So why are you trying to live this ultra productive lifestyle? If we think back to that toxic self-improvement side of things, productivity is one of the worst things that has seeped into this space in the last few years. But time's going to go quick, and you won't be able to recall all those things that you were so productive with. But will you remember those times that you got up a bit earlier so that you could go to the beach and see the sunrise? Are you going to remember those nights where you'd done all the self-improvement things for that day and you could just decompress and spend it with friends and family because you've earned it? these are the things that matter in life. These are the things that make it worth living. It's a little bit like working a job that you hate. I understand that sometimes we need to go through that in order to get to the other side. And this is the same. You sometimes need to go through this toxic, productive mindset of self-improvement in order to get to the other side. In order to get to that other side, that other end of the rainbow, where you can realize life's fine if I work hard on the things that I care about. That I experiment seasonally on the things that interest me. That I continue to feed my curiosity and my relationships so that I can enjoy them and live life to the fullest. And that's me today, guys. This might be a 1.0 episode. We might need to delve a bit deeper into this sort of stuff as I've discovered a bit of passion around it. Maybe I need to be the voice on this side of self-improvement. But otherwise, guys, as always, thank you very much for listening. I hope you are enjoying the episodes. If so, reach out to me. Let me know what you're enjoying, what you'd like to hear more of on the emails. I'm currently trialing out a Monday chat conversation section where if, as a listener, you're ever wanting to reach out to me and chat for half an hour on a Monday between 2 and 5 p.m. GMT time, I'm open to that as a one-off discussion, just for anything to do with self-improvement. No agenda, just general chat, and I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.